Where is my man? Woody Page, there he is. You have covered the Denver Nuggets for every year of their 47 years in the NBA. And then even a couple years before that, the NBA. For the first time, you covered them in the NBA Finals. Oh, yeah. Give me an oh, yeah. The rise of Woody's Nuggets.
Oh, no.
And Bill Plaschke here for the fall of the Lakers. And Israel Gutierrez here for the path of the Panthers. And Justin Tinsley, Washington, D.C., also appearing. Let's go around the horn.
Woody, if you need to know what it's like to cover a finals, I can tell you down here in Miami. Just give me a call.
Give me a call, Woody. I'm not there yet. The excellence of execution. Anybody know what I'm talking about here? That's what comes to mind. There you go, Tins. For the Denver Nuggets. They put it all together. And now, for the first time in franchise history, playing for the NBA title. For the first time, Woody Page with an accurate prediction. Hey, I kid, Woody. You had them at the start of the season. You had them at the start of the postseason. Jokic, the anvil of inevitability. He does everything, right? He does everything down low. But then he's got in his bag, he's got that fadeaway three, too. Who knew? But it's not just Jokic. With the game on the sweep on the line, Jamal Murray grabbing, Aaron Gordon blocking, and LeBron's going home. Let's start, though, with Denver. Woody Page, smoke him if you got him. What just happened?
Well, I just want to remind Israel that one time the Avalanche of Colorado beat the Panthers of Florida
this is title
for a championship. So this is not the first time, not the first rodeo for us way out here in the Forgotten Time
And it is for the Nuggets.
But I felt like from the beginning of the year, and of course they did too, that this was the best Denver team I've ever seen in a half century. That's number one. Number two, this is a team without distraction, without dysfunction, without all the problems that we have experienced throughout the NBA during the course of the year. It's a team that didn't make the big deals at the trading deadline to try and improve its team. They stuck together. And here's what. They're not going to go away because their 5 starters are under contract for another year. So the same people are coming back, world. If you don't like the Nuggets now in the finals, you're not going to like them again next year. But I think they played the brand of basketball that I remember from the Celtics. Bob Ryan will appreciate this, from the Celtics in the 70s and 80s. They don't make turnovers. They make great passes. They get everybody involved in it. Their superstar is so humble, and he has no ego. He is trying his best to bring everybody into the game. And then in the fourth quarter, when he sees what they're not doing, he takes over the game, as he did again last night. This is a special team, and if they beat Miami, it will be a great day in the history of Colorado for sports here.
Well, last night they beat Los Angeles, and I see in Plasma One Bill Plaschke, but not yet, Bill. Not yet for you. Israel Gutierrez, how did the Nuggets do this?
Well, speaking of not yet, I don't want the points for this yet, okay? Wait till it comes true. But go back to espn.com and see what the preseason predictions were and see who had the Miami Heat beating the Denver Nuggets in the finals. I don't want the points for that yet.
Oh, okay. I mean, as long as...
What we watched,
I think that's a great prediction.
what we watched yesterday was Nikola Jokic being the most valuable player in this league over the past 3 years. He makes everything for that team work, and he's got such variety in his game. He is a nightmare to defend. And, you know, regardless of when you play them, as long as he can be a defensive presence and not be a liability out there, not get in foul trouble, he's going to give you whatever you want out there offensively because he can operate from the top of the key. He can operate from the post. He can shoot from the outside. He can drive past the closeout. He can do anything. And so when you've got the pieces around him, Jamal Murray, he needed another year to get his knee right. He looks like the guy who was in the bubble before. Michael Porter Jr. still needs to sort of work out some mistake-prone things and some poor decision-making, but he's gotten so much better over the last couple of years. You put that Bruce Brown, he's such a versatile player off the bench. When he was in Brooklyn, he was essentially a rolling big man, and now he's a guard doing kind of whatever they need off the bench. And so, you know, those 7 players that they've been playing, very reliable, and this is a team that's been number 1 seed most of the year. I don't know why people are even surprised by what they're watching.
Justin, I saw you laughing when Israel said Jokic could hit the 3. You were thinking about that behind-the-head fadeaway 3, right? Like, how is that in his bag?
There's no depth to his bag. At least we haven't found it yet. But this title run by Denver is phenomenal for the league. I know people like seeing LeBron and Curry and these names at the highest levels, but there's room for other teams and other great players to create this postseason legacy for themselves. I'm looking at the Denver Nuggets. They've been the #1 team in the West since December 20th. You have Jokic, who's playing at a historic level, 8 triple-doubles and counting in this postseason alone. Jamal Murray looks like the best two guard in the league right now, and their role players are playing phenomenal. And I have to shout out Mike Malone, a truly great coach who I think got a raw deal done to him in Sacramento, and now he has this team in the NBA Finals. There was some miscues late in the fourth quarter by Denver, but they have 9 days of rest to rectify that now. This Denver team deserves to be here, and we should celebrate them as such.
And now we turn to Los Angeles. Bill, I know you want to talk about the Lakers, and I can't wait for you to talk about the Lakers. But first, your impression of Denver after seeing what they just did to Los Angeles.
Well, first, my impression of Denver, Justin, it's Michael Malone. He doesn't like it when you call him Mike, so get it, Michael. Kudos to Woody. First, kudos to Woody Page for driving downtown to have dinner with me during this series, even though I paid. And kudos to the Nuggets.
$16.
LeBron said the Nuggets are the best team he's seen in several years, and they're one of the best teams I've seen ever. They're unbelievable. They made every big play. The 24-point differential was the 4th closest differential of a series in NBA history. The Nuggets could have blown all 4 of those games.
But they didn't.
Yet they made huge plays down the stretch. And it wasn't just Jokic or Murray. It was, Michael Porter Jr. made a big play. Aaron Gordon made a big play. Bruce Brown made a big play. They all made big plays down the stretch. They're the most together team I've seen, the most unified team I've seen. I don't see how they lose in the finals.
Woody, we've been talking about them some of the shows when you've been covering the series. Their highs are higher than other teams, and their lows are not as low. When they have a struggle, it's only for a 2, 3, 4-minute spurt. But I also want to ask you one thing. Jokic, we know, was a 2-time MVP, could have won it this year. He's a super-duper star. Jamal Murray, when he got injured, there was a chance the team, trades were floated, but they made a commitment to Murray. And if you could talk about that for a second.
Yes, he was so afraid after he got hurt. He said to Michael Malone coming back from their loss to the Lakers in the bubble, he said, "Are you going to trade me to another team?" And he said, "No, you belong to us. We belong to you." And so I think that changed his feeling about recovering from the knee injury. And when they added Aaron Gordon, who was the best player in Orlando, the guy they were building around, he has become a supplement player there and doing all the dirty work. And Justin brought up Brown. Brown has been great everywhere he's been. You wonder why in the world he continues to kind of wander through this league. He's going to get big money at some point as a result of this. That's what I like about this team is together. There's no egos on this team, and it's fantastic what they're doing. I hope the nation finally getting to see what the Joker can do, that he's better than the Joker who was sitting on the sidelines in the arena watching the Lakers and pulling for them.
You're talking about Jack. You got a little bit of a Jack quality to you as well, Woody Page.
That's a fact, Jack.
We'll move on. All right, Plashke, here we go. The Lakers. You buried them before the season. You dug them up and loved them at the end of the season. You reburied them after a play-in win. But they won 2 more series, and they really had a season here where you can have some pride about it. To go out like they did, of course, in a sweep is not what you want, but they were in every game. But no one thought this would be the headline today. Our Dave McMenamin asking LeBron what the offseason will look like, and he told McMenamin he will consider retirement this offseason. Bill, is that real? Do you believe that? And how'd you hear LeBron
There is no way. There is no way that's real. There is no way he's retiring. I guarantee he is not retiring, not after a 40-point game, not after getting swept in the playoffs. What he's doing is he's setting the agenda for the offseason. He's telling Rob Pelinka, if you don't do what I want, I'm gonna quit. But he's not gonna quit. It's a passive-aggressive LeBron. He wants the team to get better around him. He may want them to trade Anthony Davis. Keep an eye on that. But he does want more help.
Okay, wait. Let's do more than keep one eye on it. Let's get both eyes on that now. The offseason and having to know you need to get better and not having the commodities to send off. You believe that could end in an Anthony Davis trade?
I think he has to look at it. The way inconsistent as Anthony Davis has been, as fragile as he's been, he's a great player when he plays. He just doesn't always play. I think they can get a lot of talent for him and maybe LeBron's sick of him being on the bench a lot, maybe trade him, yes.
Woody, I'll turn to you, covering this series and getting a close look at this Los Angeles Lakers team and LeBron at this stage in his career. When you hear him say, I'm going to contemplate it, we have never heard him say that before. How do you hear it?
I was so shocked when he ended his press conference by saying, I got a lot to consider. And he said it like 3 or 4 times. I believe that there's a possibility, Bill, even though you're right that he's going to come back. But maybe he wants to see his son. He's indicated all along he wants to play with his son. Well, maybe he wants to see his son, who's going to be just down the block from where he is, play games next year, and he could see all his games if he wanted to, rather than when he's on the road or his son's on the road for games, that he's not going to get to see his son as much as he'd like to. So I think that's a possibility. Once again, even though they made all those trades and they made such a run into the playoffs, they still didn't get enough to win a championship, and you know that. So they're going to have to go out. If it means trading AD, they're going to break down their team again and start over. I think they did a great job this season, given what they had to work with. But those players they obtained, only one of them really was a major contributor during the playoffs.
Israel, as we turn to you here, the idea, it's been said, if you're considering retirement, then you're already at a certain stage. How much of it do you think is just LeBron reacting to a very difficult loss, and how much do you think is real?
Well, I don't know which one was more surprising. The fact that nobody actually asked a player exiting his 20th year if he's considered retirement, or the fact that LeBron brought it up on his own, because they're both kind of shocking, right? But the second one probably has to be more shocking because, look, the first thing I thought of was LeBron James's retirement tour is going to be so thorough, they might have to, start every road game a half an hour earlier because it's going to be, it's going to be tremendous. Every team is going to celebrate him when he's leaving, so it's not going to be a surprise like this one. This is definitely something where he's just trying to work his leverage. He's talking about he is better than 90 or 95% of the players still out there. That doesn't sound like somebody who's ready to retire or give up on winning that 5th and 6th championship. He obviously has a goal of winning those titles. He's just trying to put himself in a position to do so, and it starts right now after this season.
JT?
Tony, I mean, who amongst us hasn't had a bad day at work and thought, you know what, I'm over this? So, no,
he didn't have a bad day. I mean, he had a bad result, but he didn't have a bad day.
You got
scored 40.
But no, and for a guy who obsesses over his legacy like LeBron James, he won't allow that to happen. The media, who has obsessed over LeBron James' legacy for the past 20 years, they won't allow that to happen. But like Bill said, I think this is pressure on Rob Pelinka. But on the other hand, I think we have to talk about basketball mortality. Basketball changed LeBron's life, but he's always said that his life is so much more than basketball. And the one thing that binds us all together, Tony, none of us can slow life down. And that includes LeBron. So even with LeBron, I think he sees, you know what? I may have 2 or 3 more years in front of me, but the bulk of my career is in the rear view, and I got to start looking through the dashboard.
Woody Page, 45, works every time. We're with you. You're with us.
It was a great dinner, though, Woody.
Buy or sell on the other side next.
Moral victory, Bill, for you.
Welcome back to Around the Horn, coming to you from the Seaport, brought to you by Chase.
Is there room on the broom for another sweep in the conference finals? Game 4, Celtics Heat tonight. Whether Miami will close it out at home, whether Boston could salvage dignity and defibrillate their season. No basketball team has ever come back from 0-3, as you know. The only baseball team was from Boston. Israel, what do you expect to see from the Celtics tonight?
I mean, probably their most aggressive push in the first quarter. You're probably going to see a lot of shot attempts from Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, because everybody was wondering where they were in the last game. But I think the problem is mostly going to be on the defensive end for Boston. They're not going to be able to find a way to stop Miami and their game plan against those bigs. So I think they're going to have a very good start, Boston will. Probably their best start of the series, but I don't think they're going to end up winning this thing. It's going to be a heat.
You've got Miami. Justin Tinsley, how about you?
Jimmy Butler said last year after that Game 7 loss to Boston that Miami would be right back with a chance to go to the finals. There is absolutely no way Jimmy Butler, the most sadistic athlete in sports right now, is going to let an opportunity like this fly. I got Miami winning on their own.
So you said there's no shot for a Boston win. They're so far past gone, they can't resuscitate? What was the second best team in basketball all regular season? Bill Plaschke, how about you?
Dave Roberts isn't walking through that door and stealing second base against Mariano Rivera.
I like the walking through the door. That's nice.
Their coach already said he lost the team. The team has lost itself. They have no shot.
And Woody Page.
The Celtics are done like dinner.
Wow,
I told you before that series started, I said to you that Spoelstra was going to be the X factor in the series because he was going to totally outcoach Mazzulla, who may be one and done himself. That's exactly what we've seen, the use of that bench and how effective it's been in this series. Butler didn't have a very good game in the last one, and still they won going away.
Okay, we'll move on then. Buy or sell two. The NFL's flexing Thursday night football option in the back third of the upcoming season. So now, Thursday, Sunday, Monday night, at the league's discretion. Raiders owner Mark Davis to USA Today. If you have a Raiders-Chargers game in Las Vegas scheduled for Thursday, and all of the fans driving from Los Angeles, the Raiders fans, and all 3 Chargers fans, buy their tickets and book their hotels, how in the hell do you schedule it and now say, sorry, it's now on Sunday? How in the hell do you do that? Bill, buy or sell?
Mark Davis, you're overestimating the Charger fans.
But oh, man.
But I think that this is so wrong. This is so wrong for the fans. It's so unfair to the fans. This is, and the NFL says only 7% of their fans actually go to games. But that's still 7% of the people. That's still that you're ignoring them and inconveniencing them. It just doesn't make
There is some fine print. There have to be 28 days in advance, right? About a month in advance to do the flex. Woody, buy or sell this?
Oh, I'm selling it big time. I never thought I would agree with a Raiders owner named Davis, but I'm totally with Mark on this. I mean, it's not only the fans, Bill, it's the teams, it's the players, it's the staff there. Having the situation where 28 days before the game, you could lose 3 games, you could win all 3, and you should be on Thursday night instead of a team that's on the decline. This makes no sense whatsoever. Don't do it. Change your mind, NFL.
Yeah, when I heard about this, I was thinking I would hear all the outcry about, the players are only going to have 4 days to prepare, multiple Thursday night games. And then I read about the fans, and we all feel terrible about the fans because they have to redo their travel arrangements. I mean, they're going to have about a month in advance. But these are the fans, if they travel for your NFL team, they don't have a lot of real, they got to do it when the schedule releases. And if you're going to be flexed to a Thursday night, that means your team's probably good. So I'm not worried about the fans with this. Go ahead.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that angle. And Justin Tinsley, how about you?
This is the NFL, and the main ideology is cream. Cash rules everything around me. Amazon paid $1 billion for this Thursday night football package. They want the best games possible. So for me, it's like things change within the blink of an eye within the NFL, and now they're trying to predict this a month out. The NFL trying to go full Miss Cleo and predict this stuff is not going to end well for them.
Full Miss Cleo. Justin Tinsley, thanks for your time. Stay Bill Plaschke.
I was just clear.
Thank you as well. Woody, had your show wire to wire today. 49 points. That's a big number. Versus Gutierrez.
I like this.
In showdown. Canes 0. The vim and pluck and dominance of these Florida Panthers as they go up 3-0. Are we going to get another sweep? The frustration for Carolina is boiling over. Israel, this is your account. How is this happening?
Yeah, well, I understand the Carolina frustration. There was some questionable non-calls there. But this is all about Sergei Bobrovsky. It's the hot goalie in the playoffs. It's a story as old as time. He stopped 110 of 111 shots. He's just on a roll, and the Panthers are riding him right now.
Woody Page?
Israel, Carolina Canes carping about what's going on in this series. Look in the mirror. In the last 217 minutes of the series, they have scored 1 goal. That's the reason why the Panthers are leading the series so dominantly.
It's because of the goaltending of Florida. Carping, complaining, right? Yeah, okay. No, this is about the Florida Panthers. Ever since they came back on Boston, they've been untouchable, and they have that vim and that pluck. We'll move on. Showdown 2, a new NFL rule pass. Kickoffs that are fair caught inside the 25-yard line are going to be moved to the 25-yard line. So, teams dissuaded from trying that coffin corner kick. that we're showing you here, where they try to force a team to return it from inside the 5. Woody, good rule or bad rule?
Well, the NFL appreciably is trying to concentrate here on player safety, but I would make one other rule change. Instead of the 25, start at the 30. I think that's a good point for starting any drive, and it gives your offense more chance. We're trying to have more offense in the league.
Israel?
Here's the thing, though, Tony. These kickers are really good. The coffin corner stuff, they're just going to move it up 5 yards. They'll kick the ball to about the 8 to entice somebody to return it, and we'll still have the same situation with injuries and returns. So it's never going to solve the problem fully.
Woody Page, you had the show in your hands the whole time.
fumbled.
You had 49 points. No carping. No carping, Woody. Israel Gutierrez is getting the FaceTime.
Wow. Miami over Denver. That's never going to happen again, right? I wanted to congratulate Bill Plaschke. He won the APSC Columnist of the Year for large circulation newspapers for the 9th time.
Wow.
Bill, I also want to tell you what kind of an influence you are on me. You, after a short, brief conversation via text, convinced me to change my pick right before the series from the Denver Nuggets in 7 to the Lakers in 7. So congratulations on all your success as a columnist. You're not doing me any favors, sir. All right? Next time, I'm never texting you again. I mean, what would I do?
Bill Plaschke. I mean, what are we talking about here? Combined, we have 9 Columnist of the Year awards. Bill, you've got all of them for large publications from the APSE.
Congrats, Bill.